Okay, this is exciting. Now we're getting to an exciting portion of the class. Now we get to the part of the class where you start taking control of your own mind. And you say to me, Kovac, what are you talking about? I already have control of my own mind. Well, do you? Have you ever had a commercial jingle stuck in your head? Right? Is you ever been, you can't get a jingle out of your head? Well, that's not you controlling your mind. There are people who make a lot of money by controlling your mind. The advertising industry makes millions of dollars by taking your mind out of your control and controlling it themselves. Think about how many billboards you see on any given day, people trying to sell you things, not trying to bring out your best self, but your base self, right? Your lowest self is what they want to bring out. Well, with meditation, you take control of your life to bring out your best self. You see a commercial for a hamburger. It's just so delicious. Your mouth is watering. Look at that. Somebody you've never even met, has taken so much control of your mind that it's even affecting your bodily processes. Your mouth is watering. And you know that the hamburger doesn't actually look that good when you go to get it, but you can't stop thinking about it. This is true of hamburgers or sex or anything else that somebody wants to sell you. There are people taking control of your mind. In meditation, you're taking control of your life. You're taking control back. And it's going to cost some people money when you do that. When you meditate, you're really doing something very deeply subversive because you're telling the powers that be on Wall Street and in the government and everywhere else that now you're in charge of your mind. They're not in charge of your mind anymore. And passage meditation, which is the first kind of meditation we're studying, is a great way to start doing that. Because in passage meditation, you choose the messages that you're going to feed your consciousness. You set aside time every day to redesign your mind. Hitherto, many, many different forces have been trying to design your mind. These forces do not have your best interests at heart. They have agendas, ideologies, political motives, profit motives, and every other kind of ill-formed motive to control your mind. In passage meditation, you design your mind and you decide who you want to be. And you use the most beautiful, important, inspirational texts from the world's mystical traditions to do this. To become the most beautiful human person that you can possibly be. It's like chipping away at a statue. Every beautiful statue was just an unformed block of marble. And one hammer, one chip at a time, made a beautiful work of art. In meditation, you'll spend weeks, months, years, decades, the rest of your life chipping away at a cold, shapeless, formless block of purposeless bronze and give it a purpose and give it beauty and form and shape and meaning. Passage meditation, you sit down for a period of time. I recommend starting with 10 minutes. I know that our guide here, Eknath Easwaran, recommends 30 minutes, but 10 minutes to start. Then do 12 if you're comfortable. And you start with the prayer of St. Francis. This is how everyone starts passage meditation. After you've meditated on the passage of St. Francis for at least 5 days, at least 5, then if you want to move on to other passages, I'll send you samples of other passages and you can memorize other passages. So you've memorized, hopefully, the prayer of St. Francis. I've asked you to do that. And before you even start meditating on a passage, a good idea is to spend some time, 20, 30 minutes if you have it, maybe with some paper and a pen. Write down what the passage means to you. What do you think it means? How it applies in your life? Because once you get to meditation, you stop doing that. When you're meditating, you're not thinking about how to apply the prayer of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me still love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Okay, you might think, oh man, I have a friend right now. My friend's going through a lot of despair, a lot of hopelessness. My friend is anxious. They're having it a little bit worse than I am right now. Maybe a lot worse than I am right now. And I'm saying, where there's despair, let me bring hope. This is the person I've got to bring hope to. Okay, good. That is something you should be thinking about, but not when you're meditating. Okay? Jot things like that down before you start meditating on a passage. Now, I do passage meditation just about every morning still, and I have for a long time. I do 10 minutes at least every morning. Sometimes I'll do a longer session later in the day. So what do? Well, I set my alarm clock, and I put it on the other side of the room. I have an app that I put on the other side of the room. It wakes me up with monastery bells, big gongs, bong, 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 and some chanting. And it's on the other side of the room, so I have to get out of bed to go turn it off. And I go to my meditation chair. I sit there. The first thing I do is, I'm comfortable. The first thing I do is that just in my head, I kind of quickly rehearse the passages I plan to use that morning for meditation, just to make sure I know them, just to see if there's any lines where I need to go look it up and make sure I've got the right words. Okay, having done that, I'm now prepared to meditate. I set the timer. Lots of meditation timers you can get. You can just use any old timer on your phone if you want, or your computer. I'm sure everyone has some way of keeping time digitally now. Okay, and then I let the words just kind of pass through my awareness. I used to think of this as kind of like when I first started passage meditation, I would think of old, I don't know if you've seen these, this might not help you at all, old World War II computers, if you've ever seen those, and they had to feed long strings of information papers through these computers to feed the information into the computer. Well, I kind of thought of it like that, like I was just feeding these words into my consciousness, letting them become my consciousness. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Okay, and I just kind of let them go, and then when I get to the end, I go back to the beginning. And I just keep doing that for 10 minutes. And what are we doing here? What are we doing? Well, we're just reprogramming ourselves. We're deciding what messages now are being fed into our consciousness, right? Enough of being force-fed advertisements for hamburgers, for fancier gadgets, clothes, TV shows, social status, all these things that people are telling you that this is who you're really supposed to be. Here's who you're really supposed to be. You're really supposed to be a successful person who runs a company, who marries the right person, who has the right family, who has the right reputation, the right bank account, the right car. People have been force-feeding you those beliefs. Now you're choosing better beliefs to feed yourself. I feel very bad for today, poor families who don't have a lot of money. They work minimum wage. I feel very bad for the children in these families. Of course I do. One reason is that, I mean, as I'm sure you know, in the United States, what's the most inexpensive diet to get your daily requisite calories? You know, if you're an adult, you might need 2,000 calories a day. And if you're very poor, what's the best way to do that? Dollar menus. You eat dollar cheeseburgers, French fries, ramen noodles. That's where you get your calories from if you're very, very poor. And if you're a child, that might be what your family's feeding you. Well, at the psycho-spiritual level, right, the level of our mind and our lives, our deepest selves, our souls, if you want to talk about that, we're like little children who have been force-fed by a very spiritually impoverished society. So I'm not judging poor families that are materially poor, right? That's very unfortunate. And it's very unfortunate that children get fed junk food. Well, we're in a very poor family. We're in a very poor society, spiritually poor. We're very materially rich. If we need something, we just threaten to take it because we have the most weapons. But spiritually, we're very poor. And so we're like children who get force-fed junk food at the spiritual, psychological level. I mean, just look at all the reports of people with low self-esteem, depression. I mean, this is before the pandemic. This has been going on for a very long time. Teenagers who hurt themselves and cyberbullying and all this stuff, right? This is not a sign of a spiritually healthy society. Well, we hope that those children in poor families might grow up to have enough money to fix their diets, right? We really do hope that. We're in a position now where we're going to do that. We're going to fix our spiritual diet. We're going to start feeding ourselves fruits, vegetables. What are fruits and vegetables? The insights of the mystics and the words of the world's great scriptures and contemplative traditions. These insights will be our new diet. Okay, well, I think I've given you enough to get started, right? This is passage meditation, popularized by Eknath Easwaran as the foundational cornerstone of basically how he adapted the Hindu yogi spirituality for Western audiences. Passage meditation's at the foundation of it. Once you get back from spring break and March 8th, you begin practicing passage meditation each morning. I'll send you some lectures with other aspects of this spiritual tradition that you can incorporate this upcoming week, and also throughout the rest of the semester into your life. Hope you're well. Hope you've enjoyed some spring break. Hope you're coming back ready to finish up this semester strong. In a few weeks, we're going to have a vaccination site here on campus, I've heard. Just today, the Johnson & Johnson one-shot vaccine got approved. Last week, somebody told me that the United States averaged 2 million vaccines a day. Well, I'm sorry. Some of you, I know some people don't like vaccine news. That just causes more anxiety. Well, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. But I'm just saying things are looking great, or at least looking to be trending uphill in the right direction. And hopefully you're doing well. If you're not, try passage meditation. See if it helps. Let me know. Talk to you soon.